So with Crosstal now releasing in more countries, it's important to make sure you get the best start possible to your account. There's some easy mistakes you can make that will impact how fun the early account progress in your game can be. So here's my beginner's guide to the first hour or so of Crosstal, what to do, beginner deck and cards to focus on, the whole works. Let's dive right in. Picking a free ace card is one of the most difficult and yet easiest choices you can make. If you want to go for your favourite monster, then by all means go and do that. If you want to play Dark Magician, then do so, but know you'll be at a disadvantage in the early stages of the game, and potentially more so if your gacha luck isn't on your side. This game's gacha is very, very harsh. So despite being the boring option in my opinion, and I think in everyone's, Blue Eyes White Dragon is the best ace monster definitively to choose for brand new accounts. It's the most generic, meaning you don't need cards with specific skills to build around it, and has the lowest skill slots required to make it worthwhile to run, meaning it's incredibly cheap. For example, Firewall Dragon almost requires a lot of super rare cards to actually make that deck viable in an efficient manner. There are only 5 rare Cyburst cards with the Link Arrow skill on it, but there's 5 more, 2 of which are Link monsters which give you defense points in the SR slot, meaning that you really need super rare cards to make Firewall work, and therefore it's a more expensive deck, the RNG is greater, therefore it's not a good option to pick for your first card. Likewise, something like Red Dragon Archfiend is a very, very good card when you get it to 2 or 3 skill slots, so you can pick it as your ace and it'd be kind of okay. As a 3k beta, it does require some RNG, does require you getting more slots to make it one of actually the best ace monsters in the game currently. Once you start playing the game, you'll understand how frustrating it is to try and pull SR cards, especially the ones you actually want. But back to Blue Eyes, being able to destroy any monster on summon is incredibly powerful, which can only really be stopped by cards with immune to destruction effects equipped, which isn't many. If it's an ace monster, it needs more than one slot, which means that's more pay to win, which means that you've got an advantage over the people that are paying more money because they've got to pay more money to get around your Blue Eyes. Just be prepared to see a lot of Blue Eyes in ranked duels, especially early on, but also even into gold. It's a mess. Once finishing the tutorial, doing the introductory PP duels and the big download, it's time to start working on your account. After the first week of playing, you'll get a total of 2,400 gems just by logging into the game, which is really, really big. That's 2 gacha pulls, very cool. By all means, go and claim any gems and bonuses from your gift box and your missions tab right now. One of the most important items in your early game progress will be these guaranteed ultra rare tickets, but unlike in Duel Links, you can't choose the card you get from them. It's all RNG from the card gacha, meaning you're at the mercy of Konami to see what you get given. And there's 3 of these you can obtain, at least on launch, one of which being from the Raid Duel tutorial, the second being from Ranked Duel Silver Rank 2, and the third being from Beginner Missions completion. Now the Raid Duel ticket is by far the easiest to complete. Simply head to the Raid Duels tab, and then tutorial will start. You can skip all of these, come back to them any time, and when you do so, you'll be given a nice UR ticket. Easy stuff. Next up, I'd recommend going to the menu in the top right and selecting the Challenge Duels tab. This gives you a ton of tutorials for how to summon certain cards, different mechanics, that kind of thing, how they work differently from the TCG, what Guardian monsters are, and for doing so you'll get an additional 700 gems to your account, which is really, really big for using in the gacha, which we'll go to next. Now the real fun begins. It's time to start using the card gacha to obtain new cards to build your deck. For this new account, I wasn't so lucky and pulled an Ojama King with my guaranteed ultra rare ticket. Probably the worst pull I can think of, honestly. You should now have anywhere between 4,000 and 5,000 gems depending on the login bonus available to new players when you start the game. That's enough for 3 to 4 rolls of the 10 pull gacha. Any high rarity cards, super rares, ultra rare cards will be great for your account in the long run, especially super rares because they have an increased population density compared to ultra rare cards. They're only a small percentage chance more to pull, meaning they're more rare, especially when you want to pull specific ones. It's really, really hard. And we managed to pull a few SRs, not the greatest ones, but definitely usable, as well as another Ojama King, our first duplicate, and a copy of Multi-Strike Dragon Dragius. So that's going right into my deck as a non-ace beta. But if you pulled 0 ultra super rare cards, you got super unlucky, or you just aren't happy with the pulls you got, you can re-roll your account by deleting your game data, starting over again. It's not a super quick process, but at least it can be done, right? At least if you got completely scammed, you can go back in, re-roll, takes about 30 minutes to do tutorials, and you are back in and ready to play. But by far, in this game especially, it is encouraged to re-roll. You want the best start possible. It is a gacha game through and through. Do not treat it like Duel Links. It is a gacha. Treat it like your other hero collectors, your other gachas, that kind of thing. Now it's time to put those new cards into a deck and give them some skills. Since we're using Blue Eyes as our ace monster, we don't really need to adhere to a certain deck theme or strategy like we do with other ace monsters. Therefore, I've made a starter deck list based on the most commonly submitted cards and skills. This should be as generic good stuff as good stuff can be, right? And since almost anything is viable in ranked duels, this works out quite nicely. You should have been given enough crafting material to craft the entire deck, so this shouldn't really be an issue, but if it is, just follow this guide. Of course, feel free to add any super rare cards and ultra cards you pull that you want to play with, but do not waste your special skill material on this monster until you upgraded your ace monster, at least until that special skill slot. Now, the one thing you won't be able to do just yet is give Blue Eyes its master skill material, which is something you'll be working towards fairly quickly, or we can apply it to special skill instead, which only targets level 4 or lower monsters. So it's okay, it's not as good, but it'll get you there in early ranked. If you're missing certain cards, you can craft those you want from the shop, trade card section, by using duplicates of cards of the same rarity. Over time you'll eventually get all these cards anyway, so you might want to hold fire and save those cards to unlock more skill slots for other cards in raid and tag duels, or convert them into medals to get some accessories or skill materials, that kind of thing. It's really up to you. Speaking of tag duels, this is our final stop before heading into ranked duels. This is your main PvE mode, and it's the equivalent to the standard duelist system in Duel Links. At the start you'll have 3 tag duels available to you, meaning 3 duels against the AI pairing of your choice. Now each series has its own cumulative reward list, and each pairing can be dueled at 3 different levels. The first time of each will get 10 gem bonus for doing so. I recommend doing 1 duel from 3 different series to get the most gems for your time. For example, Reigns, DM and GX, do those 3. Then you are free to let the tag duel orbs respawn once per hour, whilst playing ranked duels and doing literally anything else. Over time you'll unlock more orb slots as well as autoplay and 2x speed, which should make things a lot less tedious in tag duel. Now it's time to duel for real. Ranked duel is where you'll be spending 99% of your time trying to reach the top boss earning chests along the way, each of which can contain gems and crafting material rewards, which is really good. Each day will also gain access to 3 ranked tickets which give you double rank points, but also double the points towards your battle reward chest at the end of the game. The points you earn for each placement, winning or losing, is different between ranks, so be sure to use those tickets wisely. And of course your first goal in rank is to reach the elusive silver rank 2 as quickly as possible to get the second guaranteed UR ticket. From then on, it's up to yourselves to go about completing those beginner missions to obtain the third and final UR guaranteed ticket, whilst also working on upgrading that Blue Eyes White Dragon to its master skill. Now you can get master skill material from gold chests and ranked duels, from the medal shop by converting duplicate cards, and playing in the various PvE modes as well as doing weekly missions. Now crafting a master skill will help you get close to completing the $3,000 power beginner mission, which also rewards you with 10 master skill material of its own, so you're essentially getting 2 for the price of 1 with your Blue Eyes White Dragon craft. But that's it, my beginner's guide, starter guide to cross duel, the things you should do for your brand new account in order. If you haven't done a data transfer already, make sure you do so. It saves your account in case your account gets deleted or your phone gets stolen or lost, that kind of thing. The game even says to you to do it when you finish the tutorial, so make sure you do set that up. But I recommend setting up after you've done that, because if you do want to reroll, then your thing might be locked into that account, so you don't really want to do that. But anyway, thanks for watching. Lots more cross-duel content coming soon. I'll see you all then. Adios.